Om. Om. Sahana bhavatu. Sahana bhunaktu. Sahaveryam karva vahe. Tejas vinavati tamas tumavit vishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Can you get me on the screen, please? No, if you can just get me on the screen first. I don't know if I'm already on the screen.
Yes, you are, sir.
Okay. So, Hari Om, everybody. Janki ji and I, we go a long way, and some coincidence or the other occurred, and she requested me to just continue this Saturday class for a month because she's taking a retreat somewhere else. So I know that you're doing Gnana Yoga and you're about to move into Karma Yoga. But it's not my intention to spoil the rhythm of Janki ji's delivery. So we stay in the topic, but we will not take it quality by quality or move on. I just want to make a review of things. Bottom line of knowledge, we all understand. What is the bottom line of knowledge? Just put the what is the bottom line of the whole affair? What is the bottom line in terms of art and skill of living? Bharti.
No, the
I'm sorry,
ignorance.
I'm calling out names. I don't know, but
Yes.
I'm just reading a name and calling it up.
Remove the ignorance.
Sorry? To remove
Remove the
ignorance means
ignorance.
what? Yes, you remove ignorance, correct. What ignorance?
That I am this body, mind, and intellect.
Sorry?
That I am this body, mind, and intellect. That
So
is
if
the
you're
ignorance.
not body, mind, intellect, what are you?
I am the self.
So what is the self?
It is a living principle.
Animating principle. Animating principle animates your body, mind, intellect. So what are you supposed to do with it? See, what I am trying to get at is not that simple. The fact of the matter is that we are the self, but we have forgotten that we are the self. That is the fact of the matter. And having slipped away from our identity with the self, we have assumed this personality which is now experiencing this world, which teases us with its promise of happiness, but it never fulfills that promise. Why doesn't it fulfill that promise? It teases us. This world teases us. Why does it tease us?
Because of our desires.
It teases us because there are hundreds of things. If you meet your desire, you become happy, no? Who's speaking?
Bharati.
Bharti. Bharti, I don't know your background. By any chance, are you a mother?
I attended all the classes.
Huh? You attended all my classes?
Yes.
That's a very good. So you are a mother?
Pardon?
Are you a mother? I am asking.
Yes, grandmother too.
the grandmother. So therefore, when you got your children and when you got grandchildren, you became sad or you became happy?
Oh, when they are not there, I become sad.
No, when not there, you're sad. So therefore, when they are there, you're happy. No.
Yes, yes.
So like that, in hundreds of cases, this world teases us because we become happy. And then it disenchants us. Why? Kalyan, why does it disenchant us?
Because what we desire is not met sometimes. At the time,
No,
when it's not met.
but if it is met, we become happy, no?
Yeah, if it is unmet, we become
If it is
sad.
unmet, we get sad. But when we meet it, we become happy, no? So it teases us. But after becoming happy, also there is again a disappointment. What is it?
Because it is
But
temporary. You need
other desires come arise.
No, other
One
desires
ends
means
the-
more potential for happiness. Children, they keep on asking for things. No, everything they ask for is for them a source of joy. So the more desires you have, the greater is it's like a buffet. Instead of having 3 dishes, there are 25 dishes. So 25 dishes means a greater prospect of happiness. Bigger buffet, there are 100 dishes. 100 dishes means a bigger prospect of happiness. What is the problem with more desire?
That they will be never satisfied. It will never end. There is no end.
So the problem is that they don't end. The world appears to make you happy, but doesn't keep you happy. Provided you can access the world in a manner which you like, and there are hundreds of times the world we cannot access what we want, so it makes us unhappy. So therefore, why is it like that?
World is changing. Our body, mind, intellect is changing. Everything is changing. So it won't be constant. Our body, mind, intellect, as well as the
So you
world.
can keep making your desires shifting with the shifting circumstances. No, then you will be happy. It's simple. Don't give simple answers. Nothing. If you log into your children's wavelength, you will be happy with them, no? Because their world is different from yours, but you have to learn to log in there. Now grandchildren will come, so you log into their wavelength, then you will be happy again. So as the world changes, you change. You will be happy. But it doesn't last. Why it doesn't last?
Because this happiness is finite. And
Correct. Because
finite.
whatever it is, the world is finite. So therefore, the happiness that we seek is something we can receive, keep, and it should last forever. So we want a form of satisfaction, completeness, which stays forever, doesn't go. So that which stays forever and doesn't go lies where?
In the self.
It lies in the correct. It's available in the self, which is for us a mystery. But it is a mystery, and it is at the same time hidden in plain sight. Why it is hidden in plain sight? Because nothing we can do, nothing we can think, nothing we can feel is possible without the animating principle of the self. At this point of time, you're listening to me, no? You're hearing, no? Who's the gentleman on the screen? What is your name?
My name is Naeem Sheikh.
Naeem Sheikh. Naeem, you're hearing me, no?
Yeah.
What do you think is making you hear? Your ears? You haven't thought about it.
Yeah, because sometimes I can hear even when I don't have an audio input. I can
No,
hear.
it doesn't make any difference at any point of time. You're able to hear. No? I'm able to speak. No? So you're conscious of the fact that you're hearing. and you're conscious of the fact that there is a reaction within you. You understand, you don't understand, etc. You understand. You're conscious of this fact, no? That you are hearing and that you are registering something and it's making sense or not making sense to you. You're conscious of it, no?
Right.
What makes you conscious of the fact that you're hearing?
Self.
I want Navin to answer.
I think it's the enlivening principle, which is the self.
Enlivening. So we are told, so you're repeating it, but it's a good thing. That enlivening principle is where in the clouds.
Sorry?
That enlivening principle is where is it? In the clouds.
Sir,
Sir,
your
Where is the
voice
enlivening principle coming from? Where is the enlivening principle?
within us.
Inside us. Inside us.
Where is the
Within us.
enlivening principle?
Within us.
Where?
Within us. Within us.
Where within you? You don't know where it is within you, but it is coming from within you. It is the self in you. The first lesson we taught in philosophy is that you're a combination of spirit and matter. So beyond the vasanas which animates your personality is the self, your consciousness principle. So the consciousness principle is animating. It's the eternal constant in your personality. The other things that come, the body, mind, intellect that sprouts out of it, apparently, the body, mind, intellect has its own requirement. So these things come and go, but they disappear. The enlivening principle within you remains constant. That is omnipotent. That is all powerful. That is unaffected by all this that is happening. That is full. That is complete. So even as you chase anything, even as you want anything, that which enables you to enjoy is actually the self in you. So therefore, the barricade between you and your fullness and your happiness is the self in you, now clouded by desire. So you have to eliminate desire to get back to the self. That is the bottom line of the whole exercise. The bottom line of the whole exercise, that our purpose in life is to get along in life with the idea that we have to get out of life. That is the purpose. You can't escape because you are hostage to your desire. You can't escape. You can't go to the Himalayas. Your desires will not evaporate in the fresh air over there. You can't escape. You can't escape your karmas. What you sow, you have to reap. So till you repay all that you have created, you can't escape. You have to repay. You have to settle your account with God. You can't escape. So till such time as you get out, you have to learn to get along in life. The purpose of life is to get along in life with the idea that we have to get out of it. For which we must rely on a program which, as it were, is designed by whoever it is that has constructed life, which is the self, as it were, the Lord. So the repository of wisdom of how to get along in life and how to get out of it is Sanatana Dharma. So this combination has been handed down from generation to generation. And that is what we have to log into. But to log into that, we require both faith and conviction. And faith and conviction are not easy to maintain because there is too much of mystery and too much of contrary things happening in life. Difficult to maintain. So conviction comes from understanding things and being convinced that they will work. And faith is required because we cannot understand everything. So what is faith? anything that we do has to be based on knowledge. So what is faith? But we don't have enough knowledge. So what is faith?
The convictions to stay committed to the goal.
In order to
In a-
remain
in-
committed to the goal, my friend, you don't know what it takes to get to the goal. Only bits and pieces you know. So to get to the goal, you have to seek a. To get to the goal, you have to seek a.
A mentor or a teacher.
Correct. You have to
Guru.
seek a mentor or a teacher who will offer you correct guideline. Otherwise, hit and miss is not the way to go to get to a goal. As much knowledge as you can get, you should get. So
Guru.
who is the teacher whose pedigree cannot be challenged, whose knowledge pedigree cannot be challenged?
Scriptures.
Scriptures means the Lord. Unfalsified form of the scripture means the Lord. So the pedigree of that knowledge is not in your interest to challenge, because that's the source from which everything emanates. You can't sit and challenge it. You have to understand it. Don't challenge it. Easy to understand. Is it easy to understand? I'm asking.
No.
It is not that easy to understand because too many complexities are there. So, but you still, in order to function, you must have the correct perspective. So you have to have the correct perspective of Vedanta. Whatever you do, whatever role you play, you have to have the correct perspective. Whatever you do, something you understand, something you don't understand. So what you don't understand, what happens to that?
Surrender. We have to surrender.
Surrender means faith. Faith. So faith is what? Your faith is what?
Believing in something that is unknown till it is known.
It is unknown to you, but known to somebody else. When you go to a doctor, both people can't say that I don't know. You don't know what is happening, but he should know what is happening. No. You follow. If you have a disease which medicine doesn't know how to cure, he also says, I don't know. Then both of you are struggling. Both doctor and patient are struggling. But doctor has little more knowledge, so you become the guinea pig of whether it will work or not work. You have to surrender to a source of knowledge whose pedigree is impeccable. So whoever it is that you're surrendering to, he doesn't suffer from lack of faith. He's got conviction. So you piggyback on his conviction, which is based on knowledge. That is true faith. You must have faith in something or a person whose grounding is on conviction. His grounding is not on faith. The doctor's grounding is on conviction of his field. So you have faith in his knowledge back. So you piggyback on that. But even the doctor's knowledge is not complete. So what does the doctor do? What does the doctor do? Doctor himself says these things are all right. Now the body will take care of itself. That is the doctor's faith. His study of the human body is such that he understands that the wisdom of the body is in the body. They can only understand that much. Ultimately, the wisdom of the body has come from nature, as it were. So nature will handle it. You do this and you take rest for 3 or 4 weeks, and the body will cure itself by itself. This is the doctor's faith. So at any given time, faith means having no doubts about the knowledge bank of whoever it is you have faith in. So you're piggybacking on his conviction. For you it is faith, for me it is faith, for him it is conviction. based on knowledge. So that is the way it goes. But there are too many complexities in life, and people of knowledge who claim to have knowledge is half-baked, so they don't have enough conviction, and rest of us, we at any given time we are beset with doubt. So there is confusion all around. So it takes time to understand things bit by bit from the perspective of the self, so that we can build a combination of conviction and faith. Our conviction should be based on humility, that whatever I have understood so far is enough for me to carry on with the investigation. And faith should be unswerving, that in due course of time, it has worked impeccably across the ages, it will work for me also. So that combination is required. Otherwise, we get thrown. Just to give you a simple example, Arjuna was there. His consort, his mentor, as it were, is the Lord himself. But when it came to fighting, the Lord himself is telling Arjuna, you don't worry, you just fight and shut up. He doesn't want to fight. He wants to argue the toss with Lord Krishna. Why he wants to argue the toss with Lord Krishna? He's not talking to a ordinary guy. He's talking to a master strategist. He decided to let Krishna's army go there, and Krishna unarmed will be his on his side. And Krishna's army he allowed the Kauravas to have. And then when he's got the Lord himself on his side, he's arguing the toss with him. Okay, why so many fellows will be killed now? What is going to happen? What you have to understand from that story. What you have to understand from that story.
You need to have conviction in your master.
You have faith in your master. Your conviction is the faith in your master. That what he says, he knows what he is doing. So therefore, I'm convinced that his advice is to be followed. In that sense, but you don't know the merit of that advice. So in that sense, you have faith. You don't have his knowledge. You get it? It's not that simple. When you have a doctor, you have faith in him. No? If you have faith in your doctor, you have faith in your doctor. You have no problem. He tells you do this, do that, and in 6 weeks' time you should be okay. So you are disturbed, but your ailment has not gone. But you understand the therapy is there; it's on track, and in point of time it will go away. So you're not disturbed, although you're still suffering. You're not disturbed because you have faith in his knowledge. Now the doctor goes on leave, and he's put his assistant. His assistant is actually smarter than the doctor because he's a younger man. Younger man means he's more on track than the earlier fellow. Medicine is also going up. Knowledge is going. When the younger man tells you something that you do this, are you in a stable frame of mind, or you are still concerned? I'm asking. You have an ailment which the younger fellow has told you, you do this and you'll be all right. But he is only substitute for the doctor. He's not your original doctor. You have no alternative, so you do it. But are you inside, are you comfortable, or you are still disturbed, doubting?
You're doubtful.
You're doubtful. Why are you doubtful?
Because you don't believe in his competency.
It's not that you don't believe, but you don't have enough. You don't have enough evidence to rely on his knowledge. Whereas the other doctor, with your association earlier, you had enough evidence, so you had faith. Actually, the younger fellow may be telling you better than that. In which case, you will rely on him later on. But today, you're not. That is the whole exercise. So, in whom do we put trust? only place where we can put trust is in the Lord. But the ways of the Lord are inscrutable. They are too confusing. And when these things happen, our faith falters. So this is the problem in life. As Arjuna's faith faltered. How many all these fellows are going to be killed? Why do you want to let us stop the war? He's arguing with the Lord. He's telling the Lord, don't you understand that this is so many people will be killed? Where is kindness? Where is mercy? All this kindness, mercy, patience, all this is gone out of the window. The carnage, and you want to fight. Let us leave it alone then. The faith goes for a toss. This is what I'm trying to say. So it takes time to understand these nuances. But I want to little bit fast track. If we learn different aspects of life, which is what Vedanta teaches us, especially the way Swamiji teaches us, then bit by bit, our doubts are addressed and our faith becomes unswerving. That's why Krishna took the rest of the Gita to get Arjuna back on track, because so many doubts he had. So they had to be addressed bit by bit, till everything fell into place. Then he became stable. So unless our doubts are in place, we cannot become stable internally. And if you are not stable internally, you cannot function. So it takes time and effort to bring these doubts into, address them, and understand that everything has got its own slot. So as you remove doubt by doubt, your conviction becomes strong and your faith becomes unswerving. And when conviction is strong and your faith is unswerving, then you learn to live in your divine center. And once you live in your divine center, the rest of it, you engage in life. You're occupied in your obligations in life, but you're preoccupied in getting out of life. That combination you bring into play, for which that internal resolution of the personality has to be according to that conviction and faith that you have. I'm bringing it as a slide on the screen, but I'm reading. Just put up the chapter, put up the lines, please. Omkar. This part, Janki ji has done earlier in the text, what you're doing in the text. The path of knowledge helps you develop the awareness of the one reality in the kaleidoscopic patterns of life. Recognize the unity in the diversity. The unity is the eternal constant, the pure consciousness that pervades everything. In all life, there is a life-giving principle. The life-giving principle is one, singular. The names and forms of life are infinite. Your thoughts and emotions are infinite in their color and scope. That which enables you to feel your emotions and that enables you to acknowledge your thought is singular. It is the pure consciousness in you. The one self pulsating in all facets of life. You must develop an awareness of the divinity that pervades everywhere, which takes time. Make good use of scriptural study and reflection to probe into the self that you are. What is the operative word there? Make good use of scriptural study and reflection to probe into the self that you are.
Reflection.
Huh?
Reflection?
No, reflection is true, but what is the operative? What is the operative? Yeah, you have to study and reflect. To probe into what? You can study and reflect. You can study and reflect on AI, artificial intelligence. This is not what he's asking you to study and reflect.
The self that you are.
No, don't speak it so fast. What is it? What is the operative sentence there?
Into the self that you are.
Correct. So what is it? What is the self? What is another word of self for self? What is another word for self?
Divinity.
Yeah, what is another word for divinity?
Pure consciousness.
Yeah, what is another word for pure consciousness? 3-letter word is easier.
God.
God. So therefore, to probe into God, and what is the next sentence? Or next phrase, I'm sorry. You make good use of scriptural study and reflection to probe into the self that you are. So you
Into the
substitute
God
word
that you
self,
are.
you substitute self for the word God. Now, how will the sentence read? Omkar, read the sentence by substituting God, please.
Make good use of scriptural study and reflection to probe into the God that you are.
That means what? That he is now saying that you are God. You have the guts to say it. You have the
No.
faith to say it. You have the conviction to say it. You will feel it is blasphemy. So it's not simple. What is wisdom? What is Gnana? In terms of knowledge of the self. What is Gnana in terms of knowledge of the self? I'm asking.
That you and self are no different.
That you are actually the self, but at this point of time, you know not you are the self. That is the thing. You are actually the self, but at this point of time, you know not that you are the self. So the purpose of wisdom is to educate you on your real personality. What happened to Prince Charles when he was born? After he was born, what happened? As opposed to all other children.
He knew that he's going to be the king someday.
He was told that he is going to be the king one day, as opposed to all others. So therefore, he was trained to reference everything that how he spoke, how he walked, how he talked, how he thought, how he slept, how he did, whatever it is. He had to reference it to that central thought that now today he is prince consort, but tomorrow he will be king. So he has to be prepared for that. That same spirit is what has to happen now. We have to be educated in the fact that we are actually the self, but we have separated. So first we must learn to live up to the dignity and prestige of a human being. Only a human being can escalate to the position of a self. Anything that is subhuman cannot get to the self. Only a human being can get to the self. So we have become subhuman. Why are we subhuman?
Because you're not you're not using the power to discriminate, which is only.
We have become subhuman because tamasic personality is subhuman. He's animalistic. He's a wooden personality. He's a personality without any thought and without any emotion, without any inquiry. Tamasic quality. Tamasic quality is subhuman. Other part of our personality is rajasic. Rajasic personality is animalistic personality, full of passion, don't know how to control. So all these qualities are subhuman. So unless you come to baseline becoming baseline human, how can you escalate to becoming divine? You have to first get to that. Knock off your tamas and sublimate your rajas. By study and reflection, you become sattvic. When you become sattvic, you're able to take off. Put up the text, please. Make good use of scriptural study and reflection to probe into the self that you are. Keep your thought in your divine center while you function in the world. This is the key to it. You have to keep your thoughts in your divine center and function from that standpoint. Anything that you do, anything that you say, what does Vedanta say? Divine center at this point of time is the guideline of Vedanta, as we are taught. So will what you heard, read and understood, does it conform to that? You embrace it. Does it conform? You relocate it again. So live in your divine center and then function in the world. Never let yourself slip out of yourself. How to put this in practice in daily life? Not self. How to understand this in normal life? How to understand this in normal life? Never let yourself slip out of yourself. How does Djokovic maintain his standing as a top player in the world, tennis player?
Keeping a higher goal in mind.
Forget higher goal, man. He's a tennis player and he has got a certain standard. Generalization won't help you. He is a tennis player. He has a certain standard. He respects the game. So therefore, anything that he says, anything that he does, anything that he wants to do or feel or think, is it going to help him maintain his standard, or is it going to dissipate his energy? He dissipates energy, he throws it out. If it helps him, he takes it up. Whatever it takes, whatever effort it takes, he gives. Whatever restraints are required, he exercises those restraints. Because anything he does, he references it to that point. Then he becomes champion. Same principle we have to apply. That at the end of the day, you have to be true to yourself. Then you cannot be false to any man. So it's a shifting goalpost. So are you true to your conviction and conscience? If you are true to your conviction and conscience, you're all right. If you have to do something which compromises this, throw it out. Never slip out of yourself. Just as fishes live in the medium of water, birds in the medium of air, so do you live in the medium of divine consciousness. The consciousness is your real self, is one and the same. What's capital C? Consciousness is your real self. What's the meaning of that? How to relate to consciousness in terms of what you know. Anything you want to understand, you have to plug it to what you know and extrapolate it to the unknown. Then it works. You can't, otherwise abstract self you don't know. But consciousness you can plug it to what you know. Let me help you. There is a live body and a dead body. What is the difference between live body and dead body?
Soul exists in the life body.
The life-giving principle, you may call it soul, is all right, but life-giving, the life body has got a life-giving principle pulsing through it. No, that's why it is alive. When the life-giving principle exists, the body dies, is it not? This much we know. So anybody who's alive is alive because the life principle is pulsing through him. That life principle is what? Is it plurality, singularity? It belongs to the transcendental or is it terrestrial thing? I'm asking.
Transcendental.
It's transcendental. In the transcendental, there are multiple things or only one thing?
One only.
Transcendental is one. Terrestrial is million, trillion, infinite. Transcendental is one. So that singularity, it is that is pulsating through that body that is disconnected. So that life-giving principle is disconnected, therefore the body is dead. So therefore, when we see something alive, subconsciously we understand that there is a life principle functioning there. We understand this. We don't pay attention to it. But you know that is alive because the body by itself doesn't have life. It's a life-giving principle has to pulse through the body for it to have life. So you don't pay attention to it, but with a little attention, you can recognize this fact. Now, we don't recognize this with consciousness. What is consciousness? Consciousness also has a terrestrial connection. If you connect to the terrestrial aspect of it, then you will infer the transcendental aspect. Just like the body is the transcendental aspect, terrestrial aspect. When you see the body and you be patient with it, you will connect it with the terrestrial aspect which is unknown. That which gives life to the body is unknown, but without that life-giving principle, body cannot live, express life. So therefore, you're aware that there is life-giving principle. Now, the conscious, I'm asking, what else beside the body doesn't have life? Unless there is a life principle in it. Per se, body doesn't have life. When life-giving principle removed, it's a corpse. Corpse doesn't have life. When you go to your family, your sister is dead, mother is dead, there's a corpse lying there. So at that point of time, it's lifeless. Because life principle is gone, only the body is there. Body never had life to start with. As long as life principle functioned through it, it became alive. What else doesn't have life? In the terrestrial realm, what else does not have life?
Mind and intellect.
Nothing terrestrial has got life. The mind and intellect is composed of what?
Thoughts.
And feelings.
Feelings.
Thought as far as the mind is concerned, feelings as far as, thought as far as intellect is concerned, feelings as far as the mind is concerned. Thoughts and feelings are what? Thoughts and feelings are thoughts and feelings. You understand? But they are not what? What is the difference between thoughts and feelings and objects?
They're subtle.
Subtler.
Correct. Subtle means not tactile. Tactile means you can touch, see. Tactile means you can contact with the senses. You follow? You're right. So thoughts and feelings, subtle means, and therefore they are gross. Subtle means they are non-tactile. You can see a physical book. You can read a physical book. But when you think about what is in the book is no longer there, but you're reviewing the book in your mind. So then only the subtle thoughts are functioning. You follow? So when you reflect, the book is closed, only thought is functioning. So it's subtle matter. But thoughts are transcendental or terrestrial?
Terrestrial.
They are terrestrial. They belong to the world. Terrestrial means world. The world is composed of subtle matter and gross matter. So thoughts make up the world. Your mind is your world. So it's thought. Correct. So since it is terrestrial, by definition, what?
It also dies when there is no enlivening principle.
Huh?
It also dies when there is no enlivening principle.
The thoughts themselves are inert. They have no life in them. They have no life in them. So but you are aware of the fact that your feelings, you're aware of the fact that thoughts, they're very much alive. In your mind, they're very much alive. Feelings are very much alive. When you feel, you're very much alive. You say, I feel alive. You say, I feel vibrant. I feel energetic. These are all internal things. Qualities internal. So that which enlivens those thoughts is the pure consciousness in you. It is the same thing that enlivens the body, just got a different name. So when you say, conscious of my feelings and I'm conscious, is make your conscious self in your thoughts, whatever it is that you program. You should be aware of this. That the consciousness, your consciousness in you is the eternal constant. The changing factor are the thoughts that you have. Those thoughts you have encrypted. According to tamasic thoughts will generate a tamasic world. Rajasic thoughts will generate Rajasic life and Rajasic world. Sattvic thoughts will generate Sattvic life, Sattvic world. That's how it works. But all those are terrestrial. The self in you animates them. They're without life. How to understand that? By modern technology. How to understand this through modern technology? I'm asking.
Electricity and
you are more savvy than I am.
Electricity and gadgets, sir.
No, electricity gadget old hat man. Modern technology का बात करता हूँ, electricity and gadget का बात करता हूँ. But the answer is correct. Answer is correct. The electricity is the enlivening principle which is singular, and gadgets are whatever they are. They're inert by themselves. But the design is such that when electricity animates them, that gadget will show the quality which is designed for. Electricity passing through what is it called? This audio will not have illumination. The electricity has to pass through a bulb to illuminate. If it passes through a loudspeaker, it will only give audio because there is no equipment to generate light in the thing. Correct. Answer is correct. Now you scale it up more.
What mobile card work without signal?
Not signal, not mobile card without signal.
Mobile and battery.
Huh?
Mobile and battery.
Now, what is it in mobile and battery? You're right, but you have to tell me, my friend, mobile and battery.
The enlevener.
Huh?
The mobile enlevens data in the mobile.
Mobile and enlevens data in mobile?
No, the battery enlevens the data in the mobile.
Correct. The data in the mobile per se is what?
Sorry, sir?
The data in the mobile per se is what?
Our
subtle matter.
No, the data in the mobile per se is whatever you have fed into it, data. No? It per se it is inert. That is the aspect.
your actions probably. Your actions.
Whatever data you have put in the mobile is only data. No, it is inert. No.
Correct, sir.
We are discussing inert and life.
Okay.
You follow? The data is inert. No. It is just some code that is lying in your chip. No. Data. You follow? For it to become, and it becomes animated on your screen. No.
Right.
I am giving you your own example. Data is becoming animated on the screen. No? How can it get animated on the screen unless data is there? The data is animated. The data is inert. The animating agency is the battery. That's what you are saying. You get it? Or you don't get it? Ayabu, do you get it or you don't get it? Ayabu, you have a tablet or not? Not able to answer. Joyce, you're watching this on something, no?
Yes, it is not very clear to me.
That's why you be a little slow. You got something in front of you, no?
Yes.
I don't know what you're watching this on. You're watching on a phone, you're watching on a tablet, you're watching on what is it? On your iPad?
On a laptop. A laptop.
Laptop, no? Laptop. So laptop is your computer, no? It's equal of your computer. You're watching on your laptop.
Yes.
In your computer, how much data you have? You don't know, but millions of millions
Yes.
of packs you have on your computer. This is data, is it not?
Yes.
It's in your memory bank, is it not? All the data is there. Now, from all that millions of data, you brought one thing onto the screen just now.
Yes.
You brought me onto the screen just now. Later
That's
on,
right.
if you read an email, you bring the email onto your screen. You follow?
Yes.
So that
Yes.
email, when you bring on your screen, you're able to read it. It's animated.
Yes.
From the totality of your data bank, one email gets animated and comes on your screen. The rest of it, where it is?
In the memory, it's
In the memory bank. So the memory bank by itself has got no life. It is only data.
Yes.
You follow?
It's
But when you plug it in, the battery animates that email and it comes on your screen. For that time, it has got life. You can scroll up and down, you can write, you can do what you want. Correct?
Yes.
And then afterwards, you put it back in the bin. So when you put it back in the bin, what happens? It goes back in the memory bank.
That's right.
So therefore, without the data, what will come on your screen? Nothing will come. So
That's
your
right.
thoughts and emotions is the data you have fed into your memory bank. That is your vasana. You follow?
Yes.
Your
I do.
vasana is your storehouse of your memory of past. This comes into consciousness, no, at any given time. Bits and pieces of it. I am today this, tomorrow that, after this class, something else will happen, something happen. So at any given time, you're aware of the thoughts and feelings for that time, for the duration.
You
So
consciously bring it
your memory is getting animated. No?
I mean, you mean that we consciously bring it up to our reality to use it.
Or you become conscious of the fact that I'm thinking about this now, or I'm feeling like this now. You become conscious of it. When you have to cook something, you have to bring from your memory bank the recipe and then act on it. The recipe comes from your memory bank, and you act on it, is it not?
Yes, absolutely.
So all this is storehouse of memory. At one point of time, you put it back into memory. So that memory is actually without life. Only bits and pieces come into your consciousness. That is the pure consciousness in you that enables you to think and feel whatever you think and feel. Otherwise, it's without life. The pure consciousness in you is equal to the battery. Your thoughts and feelings are millions. They are stored in your memory bank, in your conscious or subconscious memory bank called vasanas or your mind. They are lying inert. They generate life. You become aware of them when you are there, illumined by the pure consciousness. That is the comparison. Now you get a little bit more, Joyce.
Yes, it's very clear. Thank you. It's a very good way of explaining it. Thank you, sir.
So that is therefore this identical. What they put up the whole thing again. Who is responsible for the data? The computer or you, Joyce?
We are.
In your computer, who is responsible for what has been put in?
I am, because I
you
put
are
the
responsible
data
for. Therefore, whatever you put in will come out. Junk you put in, junk will come out. Sense you put in, sense will come out. Is it not? Spam you put in, spam will come out. Whatever you put in will come out. So similarly, who is responsible for the thoughts and emotions in your mind?
I am.
You are. So therefore, whatever your thoughts and emotions is what you will experience in life.
Yes.
So has God got anything to do with it? Does God have anything to do with it? I am asking.
Yes, it's.
No, it's not. Battery is not responsible for data. Battery is just objective.
No, that is true. So, but without the battery is the animating principle. No, without battery, data cannot come to life.
Yes.
So therefore, the self in you has to be there to elevate whatever you have, whatever thoughts you have put in. So who has put in these thoughts? The self has constructed all those thoughts. You, the individuality, has constructed. Joyce, you understand?
Yes, yes, I do now.
You, the individual, has decided what kind of thoughts and emotions you want to harbor. So you sink and swim with those thoughts and emotions.
Sir, I got a doubt.
1 minute. Joyce, you understand this?
Yes, yes.
You have
It is
to,
clear.
if your emotions are of the quality of attachment, you have to suffer the consequence of attachment. If your emotions are the quality of pure love, you don't get offended at anything. It depends on the quality of emotion you punch into your system. Who has punched? You have punched or God has punched?
I
You
am.
punched it, no? You punched
Yes.
it. But if you are sensible, you will take the help of wise people to purify your emotion. So as you purify your emotion, your love will become pure, unconditional. So when your love becomes pure and unconditional, you enjoy the benefit of that. If you don't purify your love, it will become attachment. Once it becomes attachment, you suffer the consequence of it. What God has got to do with it? You understand?
Yes, I do.
But the
Thank you.
trauma of attachment, you can only experience because the elevating power of the self in your consciousness. In the joy of love, you will experience because of the power of the self. Can't experience it without the self animating, pure consciousness animating. On your screen, there is dirty, you can have dirty content, means sensual content, or you can have entertaining content, or you can have educational content, or you can have junk content. All of it is what you put in, but all of it is animated by the same battery. You get it?
Yes, yes.
So therefore, don't hold God responsible for your problem. Be careful of what kind of thoughts and feelings you put inside. Remove the junk and replace them with truth and wisdom. Then you enjoy the benefit of a sattvic life. The sattvic thoughts are also thoughts inert. They're animated by the self. Sensual thoughts are also thoughts inert, animated by the self. You get it?
Yes.
Somebody is asking me a question.
So we have a question on the chat by Mukesh. Is trust and faith the same?
Yes, it is the same. If you treat it correctly, you trust somebody's knowledge and you have faith in somebody's knowledge. But trust and faith must have a knowledge bank of the trust and faith depends on the pedigree of the knowledge you pegged into. Who is asking this question?
Mukesh.
Mukesh.
Good morning.
Trust and faith depends on the pedigree of knowledge that you pegged into. If the pedigree of knowledge says that if your room faces one way, it is good luck, and if it faces another way, it is bad luck, then you sink and swim on that knowledge.
Sorry,
Trust and faith today we have in superstition, sir.
Yes.
Then you sink and swim on it. But in the context of what you're asking, trust and faith improves. It depends on the pedigree of the knowledge in which you have trust and faith. You follow what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. Where is Mukesh? Put Mukesh on the screen. Is that Mukesh? Hi. I give you an example. We are running out of time. I have a doctor friend. He's a famous fellow. But you are not in our classes. Those who have been with the class, nobody knows the doctor, but they have all heard of him 100 times. His name is Dr. Bomsi Wadia. He's a gynecologist. He's delivered 320,000 babies because he keeps the log. So everybody, all the ladies go to him because he's a wise doctor. He knows. He has wisdom on the lady's gynecological functioning. He knows the sensitivity of that anatomy of the lady. So a lady of means was delivering a child, was pregnant. In Dubai, she said, Bomsi, his name is Bomsi. He said, Bomsi, I don't know. I'm not going to deliver in Dubai. I'm going to come here because I want you to deliver child. So he said, you come. Then when she came, Bomsi is based in Bombay. Her base is in Bangalore. So he examined her 2, 3, 4 times, 5 times, and said, "You're good to go. You have every baby is fine, natural birth. You go where your home is, Bangalore, and you deliver them." So he said, "Why don't you come?" He said, "I'm not required to come. It's nature's job to deliver a baby, not a doctor's job to deliver. Doctor is only what is the delivery agent? Nature delivers. What you have to do? Nothing you have to do. Nature will do the job. Doctor is only." So she insisted, she gave him an open ticket. To humor her, says, "I'm keeping the ticket. If you have a problem, I'll come." And she went. 2 days, 1 day before delivery, 2 days before delivery, they called up. Okay, doctor is saying that I have to have cesarean. So Bomsi has examined. There is no cesarean required in natural. So again they called that natural will be too dangerous, you have cesarean. He said, "You tell the doctor cesarean not required, you will have natural." Again she called. Okay, Bomsi, what am I to do? She's saying that I'm not going to be responsible. You require cesarean. He told her, "You tell the doctor that let the baby die, but we will have natural, not cesarean." This is what he told the wife. He said, "You take it, I will be responsible. Baby will die, but we will not have cesarean, we will have natural." So ultimately the fellow had to shut up. And I am with him playing bridge. And in the middle of it, he gets a phone call. And on the phone call, there's nobody on the other side of the phone call. I'm asking you, what is on the other side of the phone call? Other side of the phone call was the baby crying. See this? You see this? Baby is there, hale and hearty, he's crying. Crying means there's no problem. What do you have to understand from this, my friend?
Is it that she had more trust and faith in the...
For him, his conviction is 100. For her knowledge is 0. But in order for her not to get disturbed, her faith is 100 in his conviction, which is 100. Doctor doesn't have faith. He has got faith, but it's based on conviction because he examined. No? It is normal. So doctor's conviction is 100, but for a mother, a baby she will rather die and have the baby live. But her faith in the doctor is 100.
So his pedigree, the consultant's pedigree, is that his previous experiences of delivering?
No, that depends on the wisdom of the doctor. If you have faith in doctor, you're dead.
No,
the medical profession today does not lend itself to having faith. The simple answer is that. Third leading cause of death, disease is over medication, wrong medication. That is a problem. That is a separate issue. The medical profession doesn't lend itself to unbridled faith. You have to be careful. But since you're asking a question, this is the answer. It depends on the pedigree of the knowledge behind it. Okay? Okay, we are done. Thank you.